What's up, Headless? Welcome back to the channel. So today's gonna be a little bit of a different type of video as far as reviewing Andor. So I sat there, for what, 2.5 hours yesterday and watched the next arc, which was episodes 4, 5, and 6. And halfway through episode 5, I actually tweeted out right here. You can see this on the screen. I don't know what it is about this show that just doesn't do it for me. I want to like it. I really do. I really want to like it. The visuals are amazing. It's probably the best of any of the Disney shows. So obviously that's a lot of where the money goes for this. The acting is pretty good overall. My biggest problem, I think, with the show is it just doesn't seem like Star Wars. It just doesn't. When I think of Star Wars, when I was a kid, and a friend or someone who doesn't even really know that much about Star Wars would ask me a question about it. The question always had to do with lightsabers. It had to do with the Force. It had to do with the Sith. It had to do with Jedi. At no time did the questions ever really relate to, what happens, I guess almost like behind the scenes of that. Because when you break it down, if it doesn't have those 4 or 5 things I listed, it's just the show or just the movie. And you can do this in anything. Like, think about, Rebel Moon, for example. I mean, Rebel Moon is basically what we're watching Andor. I mean, it's all talking. This is why Rebel Moon didn't really do that well. And oh my God, if you watch the extended version of that show, it's basically what I feel like Andor is. And is Andor better than Rebel Moon? Well, yeah, it is. But again, it's good for what it is. But I don't think it's good Star Wars. I just don't. And I'm having a really, really hard time trying to even want to finish this thing. I know we're halfway through, and obviously I'm going to stick it out. But it's just frustrating. I made that breakdown video after rewatching season 1. And, again, I felt the same way rewatching it. Now, I thought it was better, but not all of it. I think that Andor season 1, I think the last 4.5 episodes are pretty good, but there's still not a ton happening. It's such a slow show because there's so many conversations. Not that having conversations is bad in television. Look at Game of Thrones, especially like seasons 1 through 3. There's so much talking. I mean, I remember watching when Rob was attacking, the Lannisters, and they don't even really show the battle. Like, I remember Tyrion's getting all in his armor and they're ready to go, right? And Tyrion gets hit, and then boom, we don't even see what happens. So it's not like you have to have action, but you got to have something else than just what we're seeing. We saw Mon Mothma in episode 3 dancing at a wedding, probably for like 10 minutes of that episode. And it's for me, if it's a different type of show and I'm going in to this show knowing it's not Star Wars, it's just something else, it's probably really good, but like every time I think something big is going to happen, it really doesn't. And I think the other problem I'm really having is I know that basically any of these characters we have seen, except for Mon Mothma, Krennic, and Andor, they're all probably going to either die or they're just never going to be seen again after, episode 12. So I don't know. For me, again, I'm going to continue with it. I don't know if I will actually be breaking them down because honestly, I don't think there's that much to break down. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think it's Sintra. She dies in the last episode, I think, of the arc. I mean, like honestly, like who cared? Like you had to know she was going to, and then of course they have, the lesbian kiss and stuff. But then we have the scene with Dedra and Cyril, and it's like, let's close. We got to shut the lights off. It's just weird. It's weird what they choose to show and what they don't. We have the SA, I guess we'll say, the assault scene in episode 3, but we can't show Dedra and Cyril kissing or whatever. I mean, obviously it's implied, but it's just weird. But again, and then we have the two females kiss, and that's okay to show, and it's just weird. I really want to like the show, and I went into this season after rewatching season 1. I really wanted to kind of hone in on what is going on. I wanted to like really focus on it, and I just find myself sitting there basically just bored. Like the first arc, there's so many wrong things about it. It's just the whole Andor sequence is just a waste. Yeah, okay, it's cool. We get to see Yevon 4, but you could have done that with a flyby. I mean, for what they showed. We know it's a jungle planet. The two tribes fighting, or not tribes, but the two groups fighting and trying to make this rebellion. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know it's hard to make a rebellion. Like, okay, yes, that's cool. But do we need 3 episodes with that? Like, I don't know. It's so drawn out. I just completely lose interest in it. And like I said, yesterday's arc, I mean, I don't even know. It was so boring to me. I was so bored. And the last 10 minutes of episode 6 was finally good. And you want to know why? It's because Krennic was in it, because he steals the show. Anyway, like I said, I don't know if I'll be making more breakdown videos or if it'll just be like this. Because I'll just be completely honest with you. The views on the videos have not been great. So I don't know if that just means that no one's really caring about the show as far as watching YouTube videos. And it's a lot of work to make those kind of videos. I mean, I spend anywhere of upwards of 7 to 12 hours on those videos. And, if I'm going to get less than 100 views, I'd rather just come out here and give my honest opinion and get on out, because I just don't know how many people out there are actually watching it. And I did see this morning that it wasn't even trending on Twitter, and, of course, Star Wars, the Twitter account, they retweet all of these positives and stuff. And then, again, if you enjoy it, dude, I'm happy for you. I really am. I'm glad you like it. And is it better than like Rise of Skywalker? Or is it better than, Last Jedi? I mean, yes and no, because there's nothing about the things I mentioned: the Force, Jedi, Sith, lightsabers. Again, this can be a show just in a completely different world, and it would be the same, except for the one TIE fighter and some random stormtroopers that we see for like a minute. So I don't know, guys. I don't really know what else to say. I'm trying not to be overly negative on it, and I am going to still watch it and try to give it a chance, and maybe it will be better the next 2 arcs. But man, the first 6, I would say there's 15 minutes of decent television there, and at least decent television in the Star Wars galaxy, in my opinion. So I don't really know what else to say. It's just, to me, it's disappointing, And of course, then we get like the Acolyte, which I did not like at all, and it had everything we wanted, and it was thrown together, and it looks so small budget, and the character development was terrible. And then they try to throw Plagueis in there at the end to try to make people like it, and the whole that whole show is a garbage. I mean, it just, I don't know. I didn't like that at all either. Ahsoka definitely was one of the better shows, but again, the way it ended, there's so many things that they could have done differently. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to Ahsoka season 2, and it's probably the biggest project right now that I am looking forward to, because I really do hope they dive into this these Mortis gods, because I do think that's a great arc, and it's probably the arc I've watched the most in Clone Wars. But I hope they know what they're doing. I hope Filoni doesn't just wing things together to try to make things make sense and to throw Anakin and a bunch of cameos in there. Again, it's cool to see these characters. Don't get me wrong. But when they come in for like a cameo, it just seems so unearned. You know, it's almost to the point now, like how much I love the end of season 2 of Mando. But like we haven't really seen much more of Luke since the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm pretty sure that is Kathleen Kennedy forcing him to do that, because I just don't think that Jon Favreau wanted to put Mando and Grogu back together. I think the whole point was to kind of separate the two a little bit, have Mando have almost his own season, because honestly, like Mando has one episode that is basically his own, and all the other episodes he's with Grogu, and I thought that was going to be a really good way to do it. And so we saw what happened with the Book of Boba Fett, and that show was not good either. So anyways, guys, I guess that's all I have. We'll see what happens next week. Let me know in the comments. Do you like the show? Are you even watching it? I mean, according to viewership, not many people are. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And, if you're a person on YouTube who watches bunch of different reaction videos and breakdowns and reviews, are you searching for Andor videos? Because I'm finding that nobody is really viewing these, and it kind of makes sense when you see the actual viewership. And like I said, you just kind of go to Twitter, click on the trending topics the next morning, and it's not even in the top 30. So anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on. And I'll see you guys in the next